coming to you today from my backyard in Northern Ontario, Canada. I decided to podcast from my backyard today because it's a nice cool day. We've had some hot weather. It's a sunny day. It's not a rainy day, but it's a nice cool day, about 20 degrees, my favorite kind of day, sunshine and cool weather. And I thought it would be nice to sit outside and knit with you and chat a bit. So that's my intention for today. Before I pick up my knitting and get started, though, I would like to talk to you briefly about my finished object, which is my Sunday morning wrap that I'm wearing today. I cast this on since the last podcast, and I can give you all the particulars about it. It's a DK weight yarn from Espace Tricot called their Sunday morning yarn, and it knit up very nicely. It can be styled in a variety of different ways. You can style it like this. You can style it more. It's a wrap, so it's not in a triangle format, but you can still style it more this way in the winter when you want to be extra cozy and go out. For now, I'm just going to keep it wrapped around my shoulders. As I said, it is a bit chilly and it's the perfect weight. So let's get started. Grab your knitting, grab a beverage, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's get started talking about life stuff. Since the last time I podcasted, all the members of my household are now fully vaccinated. I don't know if I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I am a mom of 4 kids, and my oldest 3 are grown up now, and they are out on their own, living their lives. And I still just have the one daughter at home, my youngest daughter. She is a competitive dancer, and the competitions this year are virtual due to the pandemic. And also for most of this past year, she attended her dance classes on Zoom because of the pandemic. The dances were supposed to be recorded on stage and sent to the competitions. So I did spend some time in July beading her costumes. And basically what that means is that you buy the costumes for competitive dance are extremely expensive. I think the minimum amount you would ever pay for a costume would be $100, but that would be very unusual. They can go upwards up to anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per costume. Most of the time, the costumes are going to be somewhere in the middle there, so maybe $250 to $500 per costume. But you can save a little bit of money if you purchase the costumes without the beadwork, you can save a little bit of money by beading the costumes yourself. It is quite a time-consuming and lengthy process that involves putting tiny dots of glue, fabric glue, onto the costume in the place that you want it, and then putting tiny crystal beads onto the glue, and then letting it dry, and then moving the costume basically so you can access another area of the costume. I will insert some video of the process of beading the costume and what they look like afterwards. It can be a very enjoyable thing to do, is to make a costume come to life by putting various crystal beads on it. It just really makes a huge difference on stage and really sparkles and catches all the lights. So for the past couple of years, I have been beading her solo costumes. Obviously not her group dance costumes, but her solo costumes. So I've been spending time doing that. Also, with regards to competitive dance, we were supposed to go to Deerhurst Resort in the Muskokas here in Ontario to videotape the dances on stage. This was canceled at the last minute, so we decided to take advantage of the really great room rate that we had for the competition, and decided to go anyways. So we, the three of us, my husband, my daughter, and I all went for a short 4-day mini vacation to the Muskokas. It's the first place we've been in probably a year and a half to 2 years now. So it did feel a little bit strange, but it was a really nice welcome break. And the hotel still had COVID protocols in place. So things like they didn't have somebody come in and make the beds every day, that sort of thing. And you were still required to wear a mask in the lobby and various things like that. So it was an enjoyable trip. It was really nice, very relaxing, and I will, I think I'm going to try and put together a short video and release that as a separate bonus episode, just for anybody who might be interested in seeing the beauty of Northern Ontario, Canada, and a few things that we did while we were on vacation. So moving on to finished objects. So this week, I have 2 finished objects. The first one are some mosaic crochet mug rugs that I completed. They're really nice to be able to just put your cup on so that you do not ruin the surface of whatever you're putting your cup on. And I made mine out of just some very inexpensive cotton yarn that I picked up at Michael's quite a while ago, so it was just in my stash, really. I used a tutorial from YouTube from MJ's Off the Hook Designs, and I will link the tutorial below in the show notes. And I will try and link everything that I speak about in the show notes so that you can see that. Anyways, they're very quick and easy to make. And I also like to keep some on hand to include with little gifts that I give people. Just to say, I'm thinking of you. Here's a little crochet mug rug. So that's one of my finished objects. I will definitely make more mug rugs in the future, as they're one of those quick, easy little projects that use up odds and ends of yarn. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, or as you may have seen if you follow me on Instagram, I did complete the Sunday morning shawl. I cast that on July 1st, and I completed it on July 17th. This is, it's actually, I should clarify, it's the Sunday morning wrap. So I have both patterns, the Sunday morning wrap and the Sunday morning shawl. And I do hope to be able to make the Sunday morning shawl at some point as well. But this time I completed the Sunday morning wrap. It's a pattern from designer Lisa DeFrucia, and it came with my Sunday morning box that I ordered from Espace Tricot. And I think that I will insert a video of me opening that Sunday morning box so that you can see exactly what was in it and all the different pieces. So I'll insert that here. Hey everyone, this is an insert that I'm going to put into the podcast. I'm not ready to film a podcast right now, but I did receive this really cool package from Espace Tricot in Montreal, and they are a very well-known brand, so I'm sure I don't have to give too many details about them. I saw on Instagram recently that they had a box full of treasure, what I think of as treasure. Anyways, called the Sunday morning box. They posted it on Instagram, and when they gave a preview of what was in that box, I felt like I had to have that box, even though I had not planned to buy any yarn in the near future, because I have a lot. I have more than I could probably knit for the next 2 years, and I know that's small compared to the stash that a lot of you have, but for me it's a lot. Anyways, but I really wanted to order this box. So I also wanted to share the box with you guys. So I thought I wanted to share the box with you guys. Confession time. I wanted to share the box with you guys, but I didn't want to wait until I podcast to open the box. So I ordered the box not that long ago, but Espace Tricot, their shipping is excellent, and I always get everything really fast. So I got the box right away, and it's been sitting there calling my name, and I couldn't wait anymore. So I thought I would open the box, show you what's inside, and then I would also get to see what's inside, and then I would just either release a very short podcast of me doing an unboxing, or I would just insert this into my next podcast. Option 2 is probably the most likely scenario. Anyways, that's probably a lot of talking and not enough unboxing. So I'm going to open the box, and I'm going to actually, I think I already got this far because that tape's already been cut, but you'll see when I open it that I didn't get any further than that. So look at how nicely the package is wrapped. They sent this nice little card, and it says, "Thank you. We hope you love our new yarn, Melissa and Lisa." And then it's got the name of the yarn, which is Sunday morning, and all the names of the different colorways. And I had ordered offline, which is the colorway that they showed on Instagram, because I just thought it was beautiful. And I am kind of a neutral person, and I think that I'm going to make the shawl pattern that comes with this yarn, or that they showed anyways on Instagram, and I think this shawl's gonna be for me because I like it so much. Oh, I hate to even like, I know it's just tissue paper, so it's gonna rip, but I hate ripping. It's just, oh, yeah, I ripped it. I knew I would rip it. I don't know why I tried not to rip it. So pretty. Oh, so there's 2 patterns that come with this. The Sunday morning wrap and the Sunday morning shawl. Actually I can show you the front of those because they don't have the instructions on there. So, okay, let me come in closer. There is the Sunday morning wrap, and the instructions are on the back, and the shape of it I think is called a trapezoid, so the wrap's kind of trapezoid. And then this one is the Sunday morning shawl. Look at how pretty that is, and that's a triangle. I might go for the trapezoid. I don't even know if it's a trapezoid, but I might go for the trapezoid. That's what I'm calling it. Okay. So you get this really nice bag. It feels like linen to me, or very heavy linen, some type of cotton. And then it's got a list of all the colorways, and it says Sunday morning, and it's a drawstring bag. That's nice because you can keep a project in there. So I will definitely be using that. That will not go to waste. Ooh, so one of the things I'm excited about is the candle. And oh, they really wrapped it well. It's in like a really nice bubble wrap. It's gonna sound a bit crinkly, I apologize. I love candles. Candles are very hygge, and I love hygge. Everything cozy in hygge. You know what? They had me at the name Sunday morning because Sunday morning for me is a time to drink coffee and relax and knit. We never turn on the TV on Sunday morning. We just sort of chill out. So that's the candle. Wax and wool Sunday morning, created for Espace Tricot. And it says small batch hand poured soy wax candles. And the smell is, all I want to say is the smell is very fresh. I don't know how to put my finger on exactly what is in there, but I feel like this is our super unisex type of candle. Like it's not it's not what I would call perfumey. It's got a really fresh outdoorsy smell to it. Oh, I love it. So that's going to go with my candles. And here is the yarn. Oh. So again, this is the offline colorway. Yeah, Sunday morning DK offline colorway. It's so nice. You know, it's got a, like, I would describe this color as oatmeal. Isn't it nice? Like, who would not want a shawl or wrap made out of that? I'm in love. Okay, that might have to go on the needles sooner rather than later. I was planning something else, but now I just want this. Okay. I also got washi tape. The washi tape's got little things like knitting, candles, coffee maker on it, and it says Sunday morning. That's nice. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm just gonna put this one down for a second because I'm trying not to mess up the whole box here. So, are these the same thing that's on the washi tape. Okay, so these are like, they're not like, they're stickers. If you can see that. They're really cute, and they match the images that are on the washi tape. Love that. And then also in here, sorry, I shouldn't have taken that off before I showed you. It's a journal, a black soft color covered journal. It says Sunday morning. Got a little elastic here to mark your place. Oh, it's a lecterm. It's a lecterm 1917, which means it's really good. It's got dots if you want to do dot journaling. It's got, I like these, the paper's really nice. It's got different ribbons to hold your spot. So you can use this just to keep your journal closed actually, because it's got ribbons to mark different spots. Oh, I'm not really showing you. There's the dots. And there are the nice matching ribbons. Love that. Okay, now I want to open this little box. I don't know what that is. Forget. They might have said on the Instagram post, but I just don't even remember. Not good at opening these kind of boxes. If you can hear my dog in the background, she lets herself out onto the deck and then wants to be let in, and she wants to be let in immediately, and I will let her in as soon as I, okay, what is this? As soon as I stop videotaping, I will go and let her in. But okay, what is this? Oh, okay, it's a little pen. That's cute. Oh, okay, so look at that. That's great to go in your purse or to write in your bullet journal. Okay, well, thank you for being with me while I unboxed this lovely box, and I have to go let the dog in before she absolutely loses her mind. Thank you. I should mention also that I did enter that shawl into 2 knit-alongs or make-alongs. I entered it in the Across the Pond shawl knit-along, and that one is hosted by Fernanda and Ruth, and Fernanda's podcast is Little Monkeys and Me, and Ruth's podcast is Ruth Loves to Knit. And Fernanda is in the United States and Ruth is in the UK, so that is why they called it the Across the Pond Shawl Cowl. There is a shawl called the Across the Pond Shawl, but you don't have to knit that one. You can knit any shawl. You can knit or crochet any shawl at all. And I double dipped, so I also entered that shawl in the All the Shawls knit along by, and that one is hosted by Amy Palco from The Meaningful Stitch. Okay, so moving on to WIPs or works in progress. I continue to work on my flax sweater. The pattern is by Tin Can Knits. It's the one that you see me knitting on right now as we speak. I think I've talked about it quite a bit in previous podcasts. I am almost done. My husband's arms are really, really long, so the sleeves are taking me such a long time. I hope he likes this sweater because he may not be getting another one for quite a while, just because it does take a much longer time to knit a man's sweater, even though it's in worsted weight yarn. But I'm almost done. I am knitting this particular sweater for the knit along being hosted by Cabin Boy Knits, and I have also attended some of their knit alongs that they hosted on Zoom, so that was fun. I think they are having one more, and I really want to have this sweater done before that final knit along, because I think people will be showing off their finished flax sweaters. I also am working on the Ranunculus sweater by Midori Hirose. I haven't knit that one. I haven't made too much progress on that one since the last podcast. And my last work in progress is the Lyle cap. That is a free pattern on Ravelry from Blue Sky Fibers, and the pattern, the design is by Nancy Ekval, I believe her name is. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. It's a one skein hat that is knit in DK weight yarn, and I will talk about the yarn that I used for this cap when it is a completed object. I will give more information about that. The reason I cast this on is I did want something kind of quick, just something fun to work on that used one skein. I saw this cap on the Needles at the Ready podcast. I think it was Kevin who knit this cap, and he increased the amount of ribbing, and I really liked the way that looked, so I also increased the amount of ribbing that I did on this cap. Anyways, it should be done by the next podcast, so I will definitely talk more about it at that point. So while I was on my little mini vacation to the Muskokas with my husband and my daughter, I did manage to visit 2 yarn shops while I was there. I don't think I have been in a yarn shop since the start of the pandemic. So it was really nice to be able to go in and look around. They still had COVID protocols in place at both shops, so you had to disinfect your hands before entering the shop, and only a certain amount of people were allowed in the shop at one time. I was lucky though to go and visit each of the shops at a time when there was either nobody else there or just one other person. So that wasn't a problem. So it gave me some time to be able to really look around. I did refrain from touching the yarn as much as I wanted to just touch it all. I really stopped myself from doing that because it's kind of frowned upon during these times of COVID, of course. In general, I don't think it's frowned upon. I think everybody loves to touch the yarn and smell the yarn, but because they can't really disinfect yarn, most owners prefer that you don't do that. So the first store that I visited was called Knit 3, and I bought some Estelle DK yarn. It doesn't have colorways on it, but I bought it in like a just off-white color, 3 skeins in a just off-white color, and then 1 skein in something of a bright cherry red color, I would describe it as. I also bought a shawl pin. Since I am knitting shawls, I do think it would be a good idea to have at least one shawl pin. And also I bought a pom-pom for a hat. And 2 skeins of Lang mohair. I don't have any plans yet for the mohair. I think I'm going to put it into a shawl, a neutral colored shawl. I just love all the colors that you can see within the mohair. There's pink and green and almost an orangey rusty color, and I think it would be really nice on a neutral colored shawl. Also, I bought 2 skeins of llama lace, which is 100% baby llama from Cascade Yarns. There's 600 yards or 550 meters on a skein, and again, there's no name for the colorway. It's just a number, but actually, it was this beautiful aqua color that really caught my eye, and they only had 2 skeins, so I only purchased 2 skeins, but I think that'll be more than enough to either add to a project or make a project. When I decided I was going to purchase it and I pulled it off the shelf, I just couldn't believe how soft it was. It's just so soft and squishy. I think it would make a really nice lace weight shawl, actually. Everything I see, I want to make a shawl. The other yarn store that I was able to go to while I was on my mini vacay was Muskoka Yarn Connection. And while I was there, it was another gorgeous store, and I just want to say that the owners of both of these stores, are the ladies who were working there. They seemed to be the owners, so I believe they were the owners. Both of them at each of these stores were just really nice and helpful, but not hanging over me, if you know what I mean. So when I entered the store, they greeted me, asked me if I needed any help, and then when I said I just wanted to have a look, they were very, they went about their business and just said, let us know, let me know if you need any assistance with anything. I'm happy to help. And then they kind of kept their eye on me as I was going through the store in case I was looking like I did need some help. But it was just a really nice sort of relaxed atmosphere that I really enjoyed, actually. So anyways, so Muskoka Yarn Connection, I bought the True Bliss shawl kit. It contains 1 skein of unique fingering hand-dyed self-straping extra fine superwash merino by Earth Yarns, which is seems to be made by Estelle. There's 400 meters, and it's when you buy a skein of yarn, I believe they plant, money goes towards planting a tree in Africa. And again, there's no colorway on this, just a number. And then I also bought the monochrome hand-dyed merino by the same company, so Earth Yarns by Estelle, and it's also one of the Knit One Plant One skeins. So at least you feel a little bit good about buying it. So my only other acquisition for the month of July was my July sock club from Galt House of Yarn. I received a skein of Zed Luxe. It's 420 yards, 115 grams in a fingering weight. It's made of 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. The maker is Yarn Indulgences, and the colorway and the sock pattern that came with it are both called Pretty in Pink. It's a really nice, soft, squishy yarn that I don't think I'm going to make socks out of. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to make the cowl, the sway cowl, which was designed by Mars at Hey Brown Berry. I've already bought the pattern, and there is a tutorial on YouTube, and I feel like I have a nice coordinating yarn for this project. That pattern calls for DK weight yarn, but I'm wondering if maybe I can just hold this fingering weight yarn double. I need to have a closer look at the pattern and see how much I need. But that's my plan right now, at least for now. So just moving on to what is floating my boat. So I like to just I like to keep things positive and just talk about things that have been making me happy lately or bringing me joy. And for this podcast, what I think I would like to mention is just my own garden. I have a large perennial garden, and I also have a number of annuals in window boxes and deck boxes around my house. And right now, everything is just in full bloom. There's a lot of perennials in bloom. The window boxes are looking healthy and lush, and my hanging baskets are looking healthy and lush. So it's really just bringing me a lot of joy to see all of the flowers in bloom. One of the things about living in Northern Ontario is we do have a very short growing season. So I think that most people, gardeners and others, even those who are not gardeners, really appreciate when they see all of their plants growing. And I think maybe we appreciate it more than most because our growing season is so short and our winter is so long. So right now, I look at my plants every day and I'm just really enjoying all the profusion of color. And it's definitely something that's bringing me a lot of joy and happiness. In terms of what I'm reading lately, I finally finished The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I have to say that her writing is beautiful, and she certainly knows how to paint pictures with words. Um, the book was an enjoyable read. However, I do have to say that the ending was very unsatisfying. So there's that. That usually will somewhat ruin a book for me if I find the ending unsatisfying. Others may not find it unsatisfying. So if you really love beautiful prose and you love an author who can paint really beautiful pictures with words, very descriptive, you might enjoy this book just for the writing alone. It also has a queer love story in it, which I like the way that was handled because it wasn't it just was. That's just what it was, and that's how life is. So I think that part was good, and I think she handled that well. um, I was going to say I'm currently reading, but I'm not currently reading. I have completed the book The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. It's her first novel. um, it it would go into the horror tinge speculative fiction genre. That's how it's described. But I wouldn't say it was horror. I didn't find it scary myself. I mean, there were definitely some creepy parts to it, but they more just, I found, made you curious about what was happening, not scared. So if horror isn't your thing, don't let that put you off this book. And the book was also had a lot of action and kept moving. Um, I would say for a first novel, especially, it was decent. Not one of my favorites of all time, but I enjoyed it, and I am going to be looking for her in the future because I think that she probably has a good future ahead of her as a writer, and I'm interested to see what else she may come up with. So that was good. Let's see. So what am I watching lately? I've watched a lot since the last podcast because it's been a while. So I did watch Mare of Easttown. My husband and I binge watched that and loved it. That was a really good series. I also binge watched Bosch season 7 on Prime. I love Bosch, and I've watched every season as soon as it's come out. And I think what I enjoy the most actually about that is just the scenes, his character, and the scenes of him in his house. He owns a beautiful house that overlooks, I think it's supposed to be in the Hollywood Hills, and it overlooks LA. And there's a lot of scenes of him listening to jazz and having a drink in the evening while looking out at the lights. And I think that's my favorite part. What else? Oh, we watched the movie Arrival. Loved that movie. That's an excellent movie. I think we watched that one on Prime as well. And if you get the opportunity to watch that, I highly recommend it. I thought it had a really interesting twist to it. It was a really good story, and I think it was well worth watching. We also watched the movie The Tomorrow War. I think that's also on Prime. It's either on Prime or Apple Plus. And that was good. It was entertaining. It's an action movie, starring Chris Pratt. I would say it was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was definitely okay. Not a waste of time. We also watched the movie Thor Ragnarok. That's an older movie, a few years old. But my husband and I, every Saturday, we've been watching. We have been watching one movie from the Marvel universe, Marvel comic universe. We started with the first one that was released, and every week we've been watching one movie and making our way to trying to get up to the current time. So for Thor Ragnarok, I mean, it's an action hero movie. It was kind of long for me, but again, I would say it was okay. We also binged watched the whole season of Atypical on Netflix. That's season 3. We watched every season as soon as it came out. It's a quirky kind of show about a young man who is on the autism spectrum, and just his family dynamics, his friend dynamics, his girlfriend dynamics. I really enjoy it. I think it's well done. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you get angry, but I thought it was good. It also stars Jennifer Jason Leigh as his mother, and she's an interesting actress. And I watched her also at the same time in Lisey's Story on Apple TV Plus. That is a Stephen King adaptation, and I think he wrote the screenplay as well. That one stars Julianne Moore, Clive Owen, Joan Allen, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. It's weird, it's creepy, it's a typical Stephen King. I personally think I would enjoy reading, if there's a book, I think I would enjoy reading the book more. I think his work is hard to adapt to TV. But yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird to see some of his ideas brought to life. I'm not going to say more about it than that. Currently watching, oh, we also watched The Quiet Place. Is it The Quiet Place 2 or A Quiet Place 2? Quiet Place 2. I'm not sure. It stars Emily Blunt. There's a brief, John Krasinski's was in the Quiet Place 1, and he appears briefly in A Quiet Place 2, just when they're kind of a flashback. That one's on Prime as well. That one's scary. I liked it. It's scary and a lot of action, but interesting, and you definitely care about the characters. So I liked it. If in terms of like a horror type movie, if you want to call it that, definitely it's at the top. Those two movies, A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2, are definitely at the top of the heap when it comes to like a horror type movie, because it has a story and it's not all about the gore. There's no, I mean, it's scary and definitely people get killed in it, but it's not, it's done in a way that you don't really see what's happening. It just happens too fast almost. So, is that it? Oh, I know. One thing I did want to mention was that I participated in I think it's called a sock swap. That was hosted by Tracy from Grizzly Knits. She has a really awesome podcast. She podcasts out of Toronto. What I really like about her podcast is, well, she's very engaging, and she accomplishes a lot of knitting and crocheting between podcasts. So she's excellent at showing you a lot of different projects, because she gets so much done. And I do like that she covers both knitting and crochet, but she also uses a variety of yarn. So the type of yarn that she uses, it's not always, she does use some luxury kind of expensive yarns, but she also uses some very cost-effective, lower priced yarns. And it's really nice to see how she puts those into projects and the beautiful results that she gets. So anyways, I've been watching her for a while, and I did participate in her sock swap. So I thought that was really fun. I'm going to insert some video of me packing up my stuff to send to my sock swap buddy. So I'll insert that here. So I just thought I would film a short little video of the package that I'm putting together for my sock swap partner. So here is what I have put together. I got a mailer from Canada Post to make it a little bit easier, and that has the those little things you want to pop all the time, the plastic bubble wrap in there. And then I'm going to put a skein of sock yarn with a mini that I got from Rosehill Yarns. It's really pretty. It's in the Clover colorway. Really pretty. Very springy. I'm going to put that in there. Ooh, I hope I can fit everything. That might have to go on the diagonal. I'll put that in last. Okay. I'm putting in a little knitting journal. And I'm putting in this little mug rug. So it's to go under your coffee or your tea or your drink. And I made this out of cotton, sugar and cream cotton from Michael's. And it's in a mosaic. I did a mosaic crochet pattern, and that was something new that I learned because I never knew how to do mosaic crochet before. So I taught myself using a tutorial that I can link down below. So I will put that in there. And then I am going to put 2 teas in there. This is my favorite kind of tea, stash tea. Chamomile Nights, caffeine free, and Sunny Orange Ginger, caffeine free. I will put those 2 little treats in there. I will put this little sucker in there. I will put this little, it's a row or stitch counter. You can attach it to your finger if you want to just put it on your finger and count, but I usually I have one for myself, and I usually just leave it beside me and I click it as I go. But that's cute. And then I wanted to give her, just as another little treat, these little progress keepers or stitch counters that stitch markers I should say, that I made myself. They're just really little small, they're just little charms, little enamel charms that I put onto the light bulb markers. So little roses. I'm not sure if you can see that. And this one's a globe. And this one is a constellation, probably one of the signs, but I don't know which one. Anyways, I don't want those to get lost, so I have this little card that I made. Little stitch markers. And I'm gonna write her a little note in here. I'm just gonna say, hi, Lisette. Hope you enjoy your Happy Mail. Keep in touch. And take care. Pamela. A little extra stuff in there. And it's not expected, I don't think, but sometimes you like to add a little treat or something. So that will go in there. And last but not least, the yarn, and I will put that on the diagonal to fit it in. And then hopefully I will be able to seal it up like this. And my plan is to send it off today. All right. So it was really fun to receive a package. I don't have video of me receiving my package because I was so excited when I got it that I just ripped into it. And I got some really lovely yarn from my sock swap buddy and a couple of mini skeins to go with my sock yarn and some little treats like progress keepers and a nice beautiful little note that she wrote as well. And so that was really fun. I would like to do more of that in the future. It was just really nice to get to know somebody over Instagram and talk to that person, find out what they like, and then put together a package for them. And of course, I was just as excited to hear how she enjoyed the package that I sent as well, and she did seem to really enjoy it. So hi Lizette, if you're watching, it was great to be your sock swap buddy. So I think that's it for this episode. One thing that I do want to ask if you're watching is, so this intrigues me because I think a lot of us pick up one skein of yarn that we think is just beautiful. I mean, let's face it, some of these indie dyed yarns are quite pricey. It's not like we're buying a sweater's quantity worth usually, unless we have a project in mind. So often if something catches our eye, we're just picking up one skein of a DK weight or one skein of a fingering weight. So if you could, in the comments below, let me know what your favorite one skein projects are. I watched a podcast recently. I forget the name of it right now, but he did a synopsis of a lot of one skein projects, and I just found it was so helpful. So I'm really interested in what everybody's favorite one skein projects are. So please drop me a message in the comment box below. I'd be really interested to read it. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, take care.